Blackmale beats.
It's not really about hype. We don't make hype music. We make hip hop. Lookman Shogi, Blackmale Beats, repping South London.
Shem Lawrence, Blackmale Beats. Get to know, man. Me and Lookman used to graffiti. We used to go and scratch on the trains. We used to do MCing, beatboxing in our school. Street culture was heavily influenced by hip hop, American hip hop. We do try to carry the banner of that notion. Blackmale Beats, we're very heavy sample-based producers. We sample like Motown records and funk records and stat records.
We might mix in a heavily traditional African track with a Punjabi track. It's a little bit different, but it's still hip hop.
We sample Moog music, we sample dance, we sample disco.
We'd been doing a lot of soul and Motown and all that.
We came out of that kind of let's go to Motown cap because it got a bit rinsed. The loops, they were too popular.
Getting a clean sample that you're the only one to put your mark on it is kind of difficult.
So we kind of did the crate digging thing and looked elsewhere. Sometimes you gotta look beyond your music idol to find the original source of what's popping.
I said, wait a minute, you know, we might be missing a trick here, but there's all these game samples, they're amazing.
Lookman, he's into gaming hard, and he was like, Shem, like, let's sample some of our favorite games. We realized that we could get MIDI files.
There was a game on SNES called Pop and Twimby. It had the best soundtrack ever. And it kind of stayed with me because back in the day, you could go into options and just listen to sound effects. Me and my brother would just listen to it as general background music. All the gaming tracks were created in MIDI format. Let's just say that it keeps intact all the layering. So you can do interesting things, you know. When the time came, and I found that Pop and Twimby track, I took out the piano, I took out the drums that used to really irk me and put hip hop drums on top of them. I was like, this sounds amazing.
Fashion has always been my thing. Style is very relevant. I bought my first ever tracksuit from Foot Locker. It was a night tracksuit and I bust it to school and everyone was like, wow. And I realized that fashion has a big impact on your social environment, like on your cool factor. So I just played on that. Lookman was a killer for fashion. I remember he bought the Nike Oregon jacket, which was like a big deal in Brixton. If you had that jacket, it was a top boy.
When I put on that jacket, it was like Clark Kent taking off the glasses and ripping his shirt off because the respect was different. Girls would look at you different. It was like a little bit of power. So I was like, wait, so what I need to do then is to just buy all the trainers. I'm not trying to create an image like I'm a fly guy, but an image like I'm trying, but not too hard. Very rarely you'll see me with any clothes that you'll be able to tell what they were, but I know what they are. I used to really like Maison Margiela. Before it was readily knowable what it was, because their clothes are very simple. I like being discreet with the things I wear. If I was gonna get a Louis Vuitton belt, I would get the belt that looked like a Uniqlo belt. And you know, the guy that secretly knows, he'll be like, I know what you're doing there.
I just buy it to feel good, not to look good anymore. Like, I like what I wear, I'm comfortable in what I wear. It's not about the big brand names like Supreme anymore.
Because we sample, we have to kind of listen to as much different types of music as we can, just to find the gems. So off of listening to all these different types of music, you know, your taste changes.
I was into Slum Village, all the tunes they did with Common, D'Angelo. I knew about them as a young man because my mum was a soul head and she used to play all those kind of tunes. Obviously Jay Dilla, he's been probably one of our biggest influences. When I realized his discography around when he died, I was so amazed. I was like, this guy is complex. Like, he's literally gone from sample heavy tracks to neo soul tracks to funk driven tracks. And that gave me the foresight to
What we try to do is try to create a kind of environment where a certain feeling is evoked. I think there's a bit of art to it, and the art to it is not to be too heavy-handed.
It's culture, community, love.
Our music is all about feeling, really.